Hi and welcome back to another watercolor tutorial. Today I'm playing with the Neocolor 1 crayons, which are the water resistant crayons, and of course my watercolors, and I'm going for some vintage flowers today. The journal that I'm working in is the journal from Kunst and Papier. It's a watercolor paper inside and it has, I believe, 30% cotton. I'm sketching my flowers with the crayons, and when you use those crayons, keep in mind that they are not water soluble. They will stay where you sketch the lines, so I try to not overdo it with those crayons, but I really like their resist effect because it gives you interesting texture later. As every watercolor video, I'm doing this in real time, so if you would like, you can play along with me. If it's too slow for you, you can just use this wheel from the YouTube settings and adjust the speed of the video. I start with just a light layer of color. I'm using the pastel colors from White Nights for my first layer, and this is the lilac. I can't remember which color the other one is. It's a pinkish color, but as I always say, it's not that important which colors I am using. You should pick the colors that you like the most. As I'm going for some more vintage colors or vintage flowers today, I'm picking vintage colors for that, and I try to make look everything a little bit distressed and old. As I'm using much water, my paper is warping, and I just use a clip to avoid that. The paint in my flowers is almost dry, and I decided I need to go in with some more intense colors. If you know my work, you know that I'm not a pastel person. I always have a high contrast and bright colors, and I couldn't just work with pastels. So here I'm going in with a darker red, and therefore I'm using just that small set from vanGogh. This is the set that I would recommend if you are a beginner and you don't have any watercolors and you want to start. Then I would recommend this set. It has 15 colors, it's from vanGogh, and the quality is really good and the price point is pretty low. If you are in Europe, I have no idea how it is if you are in the US or maybe in Australia. There is no purple in this set, but you can mix your own purples, and I used just one of the pinks in the set together with the ultramarine blue. I try to leave some white areas. When I'm done with the painting, I will add some extra white highlights because I felt that it looked a bit flat. You can always do this. You can always go in with white watercolor and make your highlights later. It looks a bit more natural and more, I would say more loose if you leave the white areas from the paper instead of painting them. And as I always say, this is something that I really do almost every day. I sit down and have a quick sketch, or I do something creative, even if there's no time, and just for maybe 10 or 15 minutes on a busy day. But without being creative, my day is not perfect, or there's something missing, I have the feeling. And of course, as I am making my life as an artist, I paint a lot and I do a lot of creative things, but there are really days where I almost don't have time to do this, or sometimes I have to do it, and then it's not the same thing as if I just sit down and play a little. I'm mixing kind of an olivey green because I am not a big fan of the traditional greens, and here there is the sap green in the set, which is a super beautiful green, and also a I forgot the name. It's that kind of emerald green, but I don't think that it's emerald green. But both greens are not my favorites for flowers. I prefer an olive green or a more turquoisey color, and this is the reason why I just mixed an olive green, and that is really easy if you use your sap green and add some yellow ochre and maybe a touch of burnt sienna. And now I'm sketching in with my water-soluble pencils. I'm using the Derwent Inktense pencils, but you can use any kind of water-soluble pencil you have. I'm dipping the nib into water from time to time to get more pigment off the pencil and to get a more intense line. I want to increase the contrast a little bit because I want to create more depth, and therefore I'm just using a graphite pencil, which is also water soluble, and add some really dark areas. I now let everything dry, and I come in with my white, as I said before, and add some more highlights, especially in the centers of my flowers and also on some areas of the petals. What I also want to add is a little bit of a shimmery watercolor. I have the bronze from vanGogh and also the copper and one of their chameleon colors. I believe it's the Rembrandt color, but it's the same manufacturer of these paints. And I just add also some of these glittery colors. It's almost impossible to see this on camera, but I will try to make a photo afterwards where you can see where I've added the shimmery colors. When you use shimmery watercolors, it's always good to pre-wet them a few minutes before you start, because they take a little more time to get fluid, and so you don't have to wait while you are painting. And that's my painting for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and here you can see a little bit of the glittery areas. It's really hard to see, and it was really difficult to get a good photo. I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and I hope you will see us next time. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye.